Welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Budapest in the Carpathian Basin. I hope everybody is having a good start to the week, staying healthy and staying strong. In this class, students, we are looking at the speaking section of the exam. Specifically, we're focusing on part 1. We will do some practice. I will talk strategy and we're going to focus on how to master those Band 9 scores. And of course, as usual, this class is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS success. Please visit us there. For general IELTS, visit us at gieltshelp.com. Now, the speaking section is the same for both exams, and it's the same for the computer-based or the paper-based. You have to go sit face-to-face with the examiner and have a 12 to 15-minute discussion, showing your highest level of English skills. Hi, Ferdovs. Hi, Rajveer. Hi, Nikhil. Nice to see many of our members joining into the class. Hi, Amanjat, Niha, Dil Murad. Good to see many of our regular students. Hi, Catherine, and welcome, Carolina. Students, this is a speaking class, so be sure to speak and repeat, okay? As many of you know, practice makes perfect. So copy my intonation, my pronunciation. My English is a West Coast North American style English. Vancouver, Victoria, Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles. Those are the places where you'll hear this kind of accent, this kind of style. And it's very popular. A lot of people like it. It's easy to understand. It's crisp. So make sure to copy it as much as possible. Okay, students, just really quickly, this is our academic IELTS website. Here you can click that big red button to join our premium package. We have lots and lots of videos, practice exams, strategies for you to get those high band scores. It's definitely worth spending a couple dollars there to maximize your test results. We've added, I think, 4 new videos just over the last couple of days. General IELTS, it's the same idea. Green background, you can click that big red button to join us there. Okay. Fabrian, good luck on your exam next week. A little bit of nervousness is okay, Fabrian. Just don't be too anxious because that will affect your scores negatively. So just remember the sun will shine the next day and life goes on. Just do your best. All right. So getting back to point here, if anybody has questions, you can always send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com, and I will gladly answer any question that you may have about the exam or our products. You can get our practice exams from Amazon. For academics, search for AEhelp's Academic IELTS. For general, search for GEhelp's General IELTS, and you can get it in the electronic and the paper-based versions as well. Yeah, absolutely, Fabrian. Yeah, keep practicing. You're taking the right steps. Okay, so we have a full week of live classes starting with today and ending on Saturday. We're starting today, of course, with speaking part 1. Tomorrow we'll get into some task 2 writing with members, and we'll also do some listening practice with everyone. So look forward to that. Yeah, David, I saw that you became a member today. That's fantastic. Yeah, I saw you join. So, David, if you don't have our perks yet, make sure to send me an email so I can hook you up with the perks if you have them already. I can't remember if you're a member before or not, but let me know. Okay. All right. So, you go to your speaking interview early. So, Fabrian, when you have your speaking interview, show up early, like 45, 50 minutes before the interview starts. So leave nice and early. That way, if you have some unexpected traffic or some kind of incident, then you don't have to panic. Okay, so make sure to really just show up well before the scheduled time. You can get comfortable with your surroundings, go to the washroom, remember what you need to focus on. And then you will be met by the examiner. You will be called into the interview room for your speaking. And then the examiner will start with kind of some standard questions. So we'll practice these, and then we'll talk a little bit more strategy just to get you warmed up. Okay? All right. So one of the first questions that you will likely be asked as soon as you get into the interview room is, may I see your identification? Okay, so it's a very good chance that that's the first question that you will be asked is, may I see your identification? So give me a nice full sentence answer for that one. May I see your identification? That's because they want to make sure before they begin the interview that you are who you say you are. Okay, so may I see your identification? Carolina is asking, do questions before the examiner starts recording count? Technically, no, Carolina, but in reality, yes, because the examiner's mind is already evaluating or gauging your level. Okay, so it's a very good question, Carolina. All right, Victor says, yes, of course, here's my identification that I used to register. Please have a look. Good. Fabrian says, yes, certainly. Here's my passport that I used for registration. Fabrian, that's perfect. Okay, nice and fluent. All right. Manpreet says, certainly, here's my passport that I used to register for the exam. Please have a look. Yeah, those are all great. So, yes, of course. Here's my passport that I used to register for this exam. Please take a look. Yeah, good. Okay, so, and then of course you give them your identification. So repeat after me. May I see your identification? Yes, of course. Here's my passport that I used to register for this exam. Please take a look. And you give them the passport. Now, the examiner will take the passport. They'll obviously turn to the page where you have your picture ID. And then they'll look at the ID, they'll look at you, look at the ID, they'll look at you, and then they will ask the question, what is your full name? And the reason for that is they're matching your identification, your name with their documents. Make sure to say the same name that you have on your passport, otherwise it's a bit suspicious. Okay? So Simran says, my full name is Raspreet Kaur. Please call me Preet for short. Yeah, Simran, that works. Absolutely, because Preet is short for Raspreet. Very good. Victor says, my name is Victor and my surname is Korolenko. Please just call me by my given name, Victor. Very nice. My father's name is also Victor, by the way. All right. It's a nice name. Catherine says, my full name is Catherine Pang. My family name is Pang. Please call me Catherine for short. Catherine is not short for Catherine. Katie or Kathy would be short for Catherine. Okay. So you'd want to say, please call me Catherine. Okay. Don't say for short because that's awkward if you're using your full first name. All right. David says, my first name is David and my given name is Valencia, but you can call me by my English name, David. David, careful, your given name isn't Valencia. It sounds like that's your family name. Your given name is your first name. It's the name that your parents give you when you're born. Your family name or surname is the name that you inherit through your family line, usually through the father's line. Okay, so careful not to make a mistake with these first few questions because that can get you into some trouble, okay? And this is what I mean, Carolina, like they're technically not marking you yet, but when they hear a kind of mistake, like saying my given name and then you're actually introducing your family name, they'll be like, I don't think the student gets what that really means. So they are judging you even though they're not marking you technically, okay? So my first name is Matthew, and my family name is Anderson. Please just call me Matt for short. Okay, so when you use for short, make sure it's a short version of your actual name. Here we go, students. Repeat after me. What is your full name? My first name is Matthew and my family name is Anderson. Please just call me Matt for short. Okay, and then here they'll go, okay, thank you, and they'll take your passport and they will give it back to you. Okay, make sure you put your passport away. Don't lose it. Happens all the time that candidates leave their passport at the exam center and then have to travel back or get it couriered. So make sure to take your passport, okay? Don't just leave it on the table. Put it back in your pocket. And then comes the next question. So now the examiner will say something like, okay, I will ask you a few more questions to get to know you better and some questions on a general topic for part 1. And at this point, they will start recording. But if I'm not mistaken, Carolina, they do actually record you saying your name for administrative purposes. Okay. All right. Or they should be anyway. All right. So here we go. A very common question is, do you work or study? Do you work or study? Okay, give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. Do you work or study? Ois says, I work and study at the same time. I work as a nurse at a local hospital and I'm studying English right now. Yeah, Ois, do you know what another nice way is to say at the same time? What's a higher level vocabulary for that? A nice way to say that is simultaneously, right? I'm working or I'm okay. So simultaneously, definitely you want to show lexical resource. So you want to show that you have a broad range of grammar and you know some of these more challenging words. Only use them when they're natural and they are correct. Here, that's correct and it's natural. So you can learn and use this OS instead. So I'm simultaneously working and studying. Okay, and then you want to paraphrase. So I'm employed as an ER nurse at the city hospital, and I'm studying English and IELTS to continue my higher education abroad in a specialized field of nursing. Okay, for instance, all right, so that's one way that you can do it. Nick Hill says, currently I'm studying in my final year of mechanical engineering and also preparing for the IELTS exam to pursue my higher studies in my dream country of Canada. Very good, Nick Hill. Good ideas. Couple of corrections there to make it more natural, so just pay attention to that. All right. Sukhjinder Virk says, I've recently completed my senior secondary education, and once I begin my advanced studies, I will be working simultaneously as well. Yeah, so this is something you're planning to do, right, Sukhjinder? So if you're planning that and you have an idea of what your work will be, make sure you include that also. So be detailed, students. One of the key aspects to getting that band 9 is just to give a lot of details. All right? Details, details, details. Getting band 9s is much in the details. All right. Abhay says, well, I just completed my diploma in civil engineering in Tapi College of Surat, and now I'm working at an architecture office as an interior designer. At the same time, I've been looking to complete my degree. Okay, abhe, good. You're on the right track. A couple of slight corrections. Nice use of vocabulary, nevertheless. Jainil says, yes, I'm both working as a technical illustrator at a multinational company, Expert Global Solution, and studying the English language for IELTS so I can continue my further education in Iran. Very nice, Jainil. Jainil, in this case, the word solution would also be capital. So Expert Global Solution, all of them starting with capital letters. Okay, good. Nice job. So everybody's on the right track. Let's keep going here. All right, next question, very common question. Don't be bored by it. I know students get asked this question all the time when they're learning another language, but in the IELTS you have to imagine that it's the first time somebody is asking you this question in English and you're really excited to answer. Do you have a hobby? Okay, so the examiner will say, okay, do you have a hobby? So first question was, do you work or study? Next one is, okay, do you have a hobby? So, and they're not talking to you like an ESL teacher. They're talking to you as if it's two native speakers having a detailed discussion, okay? IELTS is not an English as a second language exam. It's an English proficiency exam. It measures English level, not whether or not you can use English as a second language. Okay, remember that. It's a big difference. The special one says, of course, I'm really into playing online games, and for me, PUBG is the best game ever. By the way, I can not only keep in touch with my friends through this game during the lockdown, but also spend my time with something that's really entertaining. Okay, special one. Good. Maybe explain a little bit about what the game is if it's your hobby. Okay. Carolina says, yes, I like to collect postcards from not only different parts of the world, but also from different time periods because they are an interesting reflection of culture and history. I have a book full of them. That answer, Carolina, seems oddly familiar. It's like I've seen it somewhere before. Make sure to be original, Carolina. Okay. And if it truly is your hobby, it's my bad. Yeah, be original, okay? Be yourself. You have great English. Vaishnavi says, yes, certainly I do have a hobby. I listen to music whenever possible. It takes my mind off the challenges in life, keeps me calm whenever I feel stressed. Also, I play badminton to help me focus on work. Vaishnavi, I made a few corrections there for sure, so be careful. Make sure that you're not missing words and ideas. Amanjot says, yes, I have many hobbies, but the one I like most is listening to music. Apart from this, gardening, cooking, and teaching English are also my pastime activities. I usually listen to music when I feel somewhat fatigued. Yeah, okay, that's not bad, Amanjot. Again, careful with the language. Students, focus on saying maybe one or two different points and express them clearly. It's a much, much better approach than saying a lot of points but not going into detail. So that's kind of my first tip for today for Band 9, okay? Tip for Band 9 speaking scores. It is much better to focus on a couple of points for your answers and go into great detail than to give many points with little detail. Okay, so that's definitely the idea, all right? Yes, I have a couple of fun pastime activities. Which I engage in. One is collecting coins from different parts of the world and different eras, and the other is cooking I love to eat and share good food with others. I made a fantastic Thai curry. Curry? Okay, curry for my family. I bet all of our Indian viewers are like, he can't spell the word curry. For my family just yesterday. Yeah, sometimes I have mental blocks with spelling. Anyhow, curry. Yeah, I thought it was a Y. Okay. Anyway, there we go. So here is the question again. Repeat after me. Do you have a hobby? Yes, I have a couple of fun pastime activities which I engage in. One is collecting coins from different parts of the world in different eras, and the other is cooking. I love to eat and share good food with others. I made a fantastic Thai curry for my family yesterday. Okay, so give details. Notice how I'm giving an answer, explanation, and example. Answer, explanation, and example. All right, that's what you're focusing on. Again, tip for Band 9, it's much better to give a couple of points, be original, and go into detail than give many points with little detail. Okay, it's super important. All right, so the IELTS speaking is marked on 4 criteria. Does everybody know what the 4 criteria are for marking? You can find this online, by the way. It's publicly available. And this is basically, I mean, it's quite general, but these are the 4 categories that you're being assessed on. Now, for the examiners, they have a lot of very detailed information of what they're looking for. So Nisarg says task response. Task response, Nisarg, is not so much for the speaking. That's more for the writing section. Okay, Rajveer says fluency and cohesion, grammar, range, and accuracy. Fluency and coherence is one, yeah. Okay, let me just get rid of these. Yeah, grammar range and accuracy is an important one as well. Prashant says lexical resource. Yeah, that's right. And pronunciation. Okay. Now, something important to know about this is that these are not equally important. Which one of these do you think is the most important? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Which one of these do you think is the most important in the marking criteria? Just give me the number, not the word, but just give me the number in the chat. Which one of these do you think is the most important? Yeah, absolutely. It's number 1. Fluency and coherence, especially coherence. Okay. So if I can't understand you, it doesn't matter that you are using lots of vocabulary and grammar. Okay, so fluency and coherence is absolutely the most important. Coherence is really the most important. Coherence means that you're making sense. Okay, if, for example, the examiner says, do you have any hobbies or do you have a hobby? And you give the answer, well, every Saturday I like to go to the mall and buy chocolates to feed to my cat. I'd kind of be like, what are you talking about? Is that a hobby? So you have to give sensible answers, okay? Or if you say, I like to go to sleep at 8 o'clock and have a cup of tea, I'd be like, is that a hobby? I'm not sure you're understanding me. So even though you might be using good language, if I don't get you, then obviously I can't give you a good score, okay? So, fluency and coherence is by far the most important. You need to make sense. Okay, that's number one. Which one is the least important? Okay, so which one of these four, number one, two, three, or four, which one is the least important for a high band score? Okay, and Nick Hill and Victor and a lot of you are saying four, pronunciation. Yeah, it is. Okay, so a lot of students are really paranoid about pronunciation. Pronunciation is not actually that important, technically speaking. Okay. Okay, a lot of students get really paranoid about pronunciation. Pronunciation is not that important. Remember that there are a lot of different accents of English. So I'm speaking a West Coast North American style of English. There's East Coast North American, Central, Central South. There's British. There's all kinds of accents in Britain. There's several kinds of accents in Australia. There's Kiwi, New Zealand accent. And there's all kinds of accents of English around the world. So as long as I can understand what you're saying, it's totally okay to have a thick accent. Pronunciation becomes a problem when it affects coherence. Okay, so if the pronunciation is so awkward that I can't understand you, that's a problem. If I ask you, what is your hobby? And you say, well, I collect stamps and so a lot of fun, then I'm like, I don't think anybody speaking English will understand that. Even though I could kind of get that that was some English, I can't understand it. So then it's a problem. But if I can understand you, it's totally okay. All right? So pronunciation is not that important. Okay, next question. Which one is the second most important? Okay, so fluency and coherence is the most important. Which one is the second most important? Two or three? It's a 50-50. You got a good chance of guessing. Yeah, two. Yeah, absolutely. So grammar range and accuracy. Yeah, you definitely want to show some grammar range and accuracy. So you want to show that you're able to use the various grammar forms of English because that's needed for good communication. Okay? So second most important, because this is needed for good communication, talking about a variety of topics. Okay, so grammar range and accuracy ties directly into coherence. Here's a really important tip, students. You should not be spending a lot of time on vocabulary until you have mastered a lot of grammar. Did everybody catch that? That was a really important tip for getting that high band score. Okay. You can get a high band score in the IELTS speaking, like a band 8, with not too many words, as long as you have a great range of grammar accuracy and you're fluent. Okay, so a really important tip, because I know some students do this where they'll focus on learning lots of words and they use unclear grammar. That's a really bad idea. Okay? It's better to use a few words with great grammar than lots of words with poor grammar. So here's my tip 2 for band 9. Focus more on accurate grammar. Okay? It is better to use accurate and diverse grammar with simple vocabulary than using lots of words with bad grammar. Okay, so that's a really important tip. Keep that in mind. All right. So focus on grammar much more than you focus on vocabulary. And I know people hate doing that. It's the most challenging or difficult part in another language, is really just focusing on those grammar rules and making them natural and making them instinctive. But that's where you need to put in your energy. Okay. The special one is asking, can we get band 9 with some grammar mistakes? Yeah, you can, and we even have certain natural grammar mistakes in the English language, like using was instead of were for conditionals. But of course, it depends on your grammar mistakes. So students, a band 9 doesn't mean a perfect speaking or communication score. It just means it's an expert level user, okay? You can't have grammar mistakes that lose coherence for a band 9, okay? So keep that in mind. That's what you're focusing on. All right, so let's get into some more questions and keep these points in mind as we answer these, okay? Here we go. First one. Let's talk about chores, okay? Chores are household tasks that we do on a regular basis, okay? For those that don't know. Okay, so here's one. What are household chores you do every day? Give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. Niha says, well, I do a myriad of household tasks such as cooking, mopping, and so many. But if I think every day, I make different types of cuisines for my family. Okay, Niha, it's a good start. Carolina says, daily, I make my bed, I do the dishes, take out the garbage, and cook at least one meal. This morning, I made a delicious breakfast for me and my boyfriend. Very nice, Carolina. Great answer. Good fluency, good range of ideas, and accurate. Yeah, Raghav is similar to Aaron's chores. Yeah, absolutely. Ois says, my daily household chores are to do my bed after I wake up and clean the bathtub after I shower. Then I do the dishes. Finally, I work a little bit in my backyard. Nice. Good, Ois. An says, on a daily basis, I always have to wash dishes after lunch and dinner, do the laundry after taking a shower, and then take out the garbage. Sometimes my brother helps me to do the laundry if I'm busy with homework. Okay, good. An, that's a nice answer. Ferdovs says, every single day I wipe my balcony, a huge bedroom, as well as a modern kitchen. Besides this, I clean the oven and a trendy refrigerator, as I'm a tidy person and I'm hooked on cleaning. Okay, Ferdovs, yeah, it's interesting. Really, every single day you clean your refrigerator and your oven? It's a little bit strange, but I believe you. All right, okay. So, on a daily basis, I make my bed, do the dishes, and make food for at least one meal in the day. Yesterday, I made lunch for my wife and daughter. All right. So don't overspeak. You'll have lots more questions. Here we go. So what are household chores you do every day? On a daily basis, I make my bed, do the dishes, and make food for at least one meal of the day. Yesterday, I made lunch for my wife and daughter. Okay. All right. Fluency is there. It makes sense. There's good lexical resource. Lexical resource is shown in paraphrasing. So what are household chores you do every day? On a daily basis. On a daily basis means every single day. I make my bed, do the dishes. So that is my lexical resource. Okay, let's keep going. Let's get some momentum going with our answers. Which chore is your least favorite and why? Give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. So which chore is your least favorite and why? Okay. Ferdov says, I really hate to clean the windows as it takes a lot of time and energy. Huge time is awkward. Huge is for size for Dovs. So careful with the word huge. I find that students tend to overuse the word huge. So if I may make a suggestion, when you're practicing your speaking, try to completely avoid the word huge. It's one of those words that seems to be overused, and it's not very high quality word choice. Let's just say that. So I say avoid the word huge whenever you can. Okay. I think students overuse it. Okay. Mohammed Ajloni says, cleaning is definitely my least favorite task to do as it requires a lot of physical effort, especially on a hot day, which makes it even more difficult. Also, my skin is very sensitive for detergents. Nice use of lexical resource there, Mohammed, the word detergents. Yeah, cleaning what, Mohammed? So be a little bit more specific, right? So cleaning the surfaces in the kitchen or around the home. Surfaces would be like the countertop, for example. Neha says, that's a no-brainer. Mopping is my least favorite task because it takes a lot of energy, which goes down the drain for me. Nice, no pun intended, right, Neha? Not goes down in dumps for me, but goes down the drain. Okay. Careful to, again, not only use expressions and words that you're sure are correct in context. Carolina says, I don't like to clean the house. It irritates my nose and eyes. Nevertheless, I do it every Saturday morning, and it takes about an hour. Sure, that's nice lexical resource there, Carolina, with irritates. Irritates my nose and eyes. Febrian says, I hate it when it comes to mopping the floor because it needs a lot of energy and consumes a lot of time. Okay. All right. I definitely dislike dusting my apartment because I have a slight dust allergy, and I sneeze a lot when doing this annoying chore, even though I need to do it at least once each week, especially because Budapest is quite a dusty city. All right. So repeat after me. Which chore is your least favorite and why? I definitely dislike dusting my apartment because I have a slight dust allergy, and I sneeze a lot when doing this annoying chore, even though I need to do it at least once a week, especially because Budapest is quite a dusty city. All right. Next question. Let's jump one here. Let's go to this one. Let's do a conditional for our next question here. So we're going to go to this one. If you could buy an item to help do housework, what would it be? Okay, give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. If you could buy an item to help do housework, what would it be? Okay. Special one, yeah, if you answer negatively for a question, it definitely affects the follow-up question, so don't do that too often, but it's okay. Munfry says, vacuum cleaner. Now put that into a full sentence, Munfry. So, like, well, if I had the chance, I would buy a new vacuum cleaner. That could really help me to avoid having to dust so much and help with my dust allergy, right? Rival Gaming says washing machine. Again, good idea, but put that into a sentence. Okay. All right. Gangedhara says, I would definitely buy a vacuum cleaner because it reduces my physical effort of cleaning the house. Good. Gangedhara, a little bit more information for those high bands. Zelda says, I believe that purchasing a vacuum cleaner would be the most convenient since it's a machine that almost everyone uses on a daily basis. And how would it help you, Zelda? So include that. Don Lee says, I would purchase a robot cleaner that is automated. This would help ease the load of housework chores and allow me more free time to pursue my interests. Nice, Don. Yeah, robot vacuum cleaner. The, what are they called? The iRoombas or something like that? Yeah, those are kind of cool. For sure. Carolina says, if I could purchase any item around the house, it would surely be one of those robot vacuum cleaners that I saw on TV. By the way, it's really expensive. Yeah, I think they cost around, the good ones around $400 or $500, something like that. But hey, think of all the time you save. If you can use that time to make money, probably be a worthy investment. Azim John says, being totally honest, given the chance to purchase any electronic item to help me around the house, it would definitely be a dishwasher because I live alone and it would ease my household chores. Yeah. So spending money to save time is usually a good investment. Absolutely. Simran says, if I had this opportunity, I will definitely buy a dishwasher because I feel bored whenever I have to do the dishes and I hate doing them. It's also very helpful to save time so that I can spend my free time on other activities. Yeah, Simran, good. Just make sure that it makes sense what you're saying, okay? So, given the chance, to buy any electronic gadget to help me around the home, I would purchase a robot vacuum cleaner in order to reduce my dust allergy and save energy and time on this chore so that I can spend it better elsewhere, like doing my hobby of more cooking. All right, good. Repeat after me. If you could buy an item to help do housework, what would it be? Given the chance to buy any electronic gadget to help me around the home, I would purchase a robot vacuum cleaner in order to reduce my dust allergy and save energy and time on this chore so that I can spend it better elsewhere, like doing my hobby of more cooking. Okay, so here, notice something interesting that I'm doing. I'm connecting with some of my other responses. Okay. So here I said that I don't like to do dusting because I have a dust allergy. Okay. And then earlier when the examiner asked me, do I have any hobbies? Here, I said that one of my hobbies is cooking. So I didn't forget about what I said and I made a connection there with this question. I said that I would buy this robot vacuum cleaner so that it would reduce my dust allergy and also I could spend more time elsewhere like doing more cooking, which is a hobby that I actually enjoy. Now, in order to do that, you definitely have to stay calm. So this is my tip number 3 for today, to get that band 9. By staying calm and connecting ideas among your answers. Okay, this will improve your coherency score and you will sound original. Okay, so again, remember coherence was really important, right? You have to be coherent to get that band 9. And another point that we didn't talk about that is also very, very important for the band 9, which is not included in the marking criteria on their paper, but they are looking for this original answers. Okay, so remember this one. All right. Students, that's it for today's class. Tomorrow I will be back with some writing task 2 and some speaking for everyone. Lots of great answers today. I hope there was a good amount of information for you to take home. Fabian, again, good luck on your test next week. Abhishek, you're very welcome. Nick Hill, you're welcome. Have a fantastic rest of your day. If it's late in your country, I wish you some sweet dreams, and I hope to see all of you tomorrow. Remember, if you haven't done so yet, definitely check us out at aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. Much love to all of you. I'm Adrian, signing out from Budapest. Bye for now.